Welcome back to DM Prep. My name is Ian and I'll be your DM for today. Today we are prepping episode 8 of the Gilded Troll Plays Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, entitled The Third Great Labor. So, when last we left off, the players ended at the Necropolis at Telamok. They had retrieved the arms and armor of the Dragon Lords that they were fated to retrieve. So they got those. They got the breastplate of Mytros. They got the axe of Xander. They got the shield of Vulcan. The axe and shield are non-functional, but the breastplate is working fine because it's just made of magic. They got the crowns of the Dragon Lords, which is something that I'll need to homebrew into D&D Beyond. So how about I start there? Let's start by homebrewing some magic items. Collections, create a magic item. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to figure out what in the hell this thing can do, so that if I do that, yeah, that's gonna get ugly if I shrink it that far. So let's find out what this thing does, so that I can put it into, so that I can pick a. Essentially, it just gives you 2 spells, right? It doesn't do a whole lot. If your spellcaster, it grants you the ability to prepare the following spells. Hey, Straffin913 followed. Thanks for following. It gives you the ability to prepare spells. Meh? So essentially what I need to do is I need to create those spells. Actually, I'm pretty sure my players have already, like, added them. Let's go to Odyssey. Because I remember Yasena using Sleeping Drought. Oh, she didn't level up. You gotta level up, dude. You gotta level up, dude. Yeah, you already have Sleeping Drought. So I'm guessing that my players have figured out how to, I know he can't hear me. Yeah, hopefully. I got really worried when you said he can't hear you. I thought you said we can't hear you, and I was like, oh shit, did I not unmute my microphone? I've just been talking like on mute for the last 3 minutes. What was I gonna say? Oh, so he has Sleeping Draught, so presumably my players figured out how to add the spells. So basically, I just need a magic item that does nothing. It's wondrous item, rarity, rare, requires attunement, create magic item. Duh. Alright, so I'm actually going to make the tiniest change to this. Because it says, if you are not a spellcaster, then as long as you wear the crown. I'm going to get rid of the, if you're not a spellcaster. While attuned to the crown, the spells Bond of the Dragon Lords and Dirge of the Dragon Lords are added to the spell list for any of your classes. And I'm actually going to look up the Azorius Functionary. So that's the backgrounds. Of course. There we go. So there's backgrounds that add spells are added to the spell list of your spellcasting class. So I'm gonna take that wording because I like that wording. God damn it. Are added to the spell list of your spellcasting class. If you're a multi-class character with multiple spell lists, these spells are added to all of them. As long as you wear the crown, you can cast Bond of the Dragon Lords. Once you cast it, you must finish a long rest before you can cast it again. So I'm essentially just going to give them once a day Bond of the Dragon Lords so that they never have to. And I don't have Bond of the Dragon Lords, which means that I need to create that. So we're going to create Bond of the Dragon Lords. Whoops. Existing spell. No, we're just going to create from scratch. Spells don't ever actually do anything. So I just need to look up Bond of the Dragon Lords. Class archetypes, new spells. Bond of the Dragon Lords. Alright, so casting time is 1 minute. Whoops. Okay, 1 minute. Spell level is 2nd. School is enchantment. Range, it's got VM. Range is touch. Duration, special. I think it's actually instantaneous. Because you can't end the bond. There's no way to end the bond, so the duration's actually instantaneous. Like, you permanently bond. Cool. And then just grab that. Okay. That gets bolded. I think there's you can confer the bond. That should be a separate paragraph. Anything else need to be bolded or italicized? Nope, but this is also italicized. Yeah, so that's available for classes. So let's look at some class lists. So, okay, so it doesn't show up, right, it doesn't show up on every class list, but I'm just gonna go to the Crown of Dragon Lords and look at that list. So, available for classes: Bard, Cleric, Druid, Paladin, Ranger, Warlock, Wizard, probably Sorcerer too. Yep. Bard, Cleric, Druid, Paladin, Ranger, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard. Yep, cool. That's 8 of them. So we don't have Rogue, Barbarian, Fighter. I'm going to add it to the Artificer list too. So we don't have Rogue, Barbarian, Fighter, and Monk, which are the 4 classes that don't get spellcasting. Just barely beat you, Jordan. So, here's our spell. We made a spell. Create spell. Bond of the Dragon Lords. So now that exists, I can add it to my crown. So let's add a spell. Bond of the Dragon Lords. So it costs 1 charge. Save. And then we say that the item has charges. It has 1 charge. It restores on a long rest. Save changes. Done. There's our item. So now that I have that item, I'm going to go into here and I'm going to add it to Orsino and Yasena's character sheets, just so that they have it. Equipment, Crown of the Dragon Lords. And then Orsino, manage Crown of the Dragon Lords. Oh, he made his own. I'm guessing this was already something that he had found. I won't remove this. I'll just let him know that that's not quite right. Like, that art's kind of neat, but not what I imagined. So we're gonna equip it and we're gonna tune it just so that we can see that he does indeed get Bond of the Dragon Lords 1 charge. Cool. So now we will unattune. We're gonna unattune that one too. Unequip it. Unequip that. So I will make a note to myself to let Tim know. Let Tim know that I have homebrewed a Crown of the Dragon Lords, and it is now on the sheet. Why would I make a note to myself to do that when I can literally just I saw you added a homebrewed Crown of the Dragon Lords to your character sheet. I just homebrewed one that is a bit closer to the book, but also less stupid. Alright, so I no longer need this note because I've already let Tim know. Cool beans. So the session, yeah, alright, so we homebrewed Bond of the Dragon Lords, we homebrewed Crown of the Dragon Lords, we are at the Necropolis of Telamok, and I got some notes to myself about stuff that things need to happen. So, I almost want to do this between sessions because it is a purely one-on-one kind of thing. But I feel like it is the kind of like revelatory information that should be in our streams. I don't want to put like really important character development in just on our Discord. You were going to ask about Yasena's locket? Yeah, so Yasena's locket contains essentially the soul of the Yasena's sculptor's mother. Here's the thing, though. Turns out that Yasena has the soul of her sculptor. So Yasena was sculpted like 80 years ago or something like that. Yasena essentially gained consciousness when her sculptor died and her soul transferred into the statue. The sculptor, none of this is really known to Yasena, nor will it be because she has none of her memories from life. But she will. Her sculptor essentially created the statue as a way to achieve immortality. And she picked Yasena because, like, as you know, she decided to sculpt Yasena, the Dragon Lord, because she figured, why not be an important looking person and also buff as hell lady. So the Whispering Locket. So it says 1 week after receiving the locket. I don't know how long it's been. I feel like it hasn't even been a week, but I'm sure it feels like forever. So 1 week after receiving the locket, the spirit of the Gifted One's grandmother, which is her sculptor's mother, will speak through it. She will whisper to the Gifted One that they are to resurrect the Dragon Lords of old, but they must first exact vengeance upon Sidon. So I am just going to copy paste this in. So 1 week. There we go. She will whisper to the Gifted One they are to resurrect Tadlet. Hey Andy, how's it going? You missed some home brewing. I made a magic item and a spell. Hey NJ Glouch. NJ Glau, apparently. Andy informs me that your name is pronounced Glau. She will whisper to the Gifted One that they are to resurrect the Dragon Lords of old, but they must first exact vengeance on Sidon. She will first be disoriented, not knowing where she is inside a locket. Very dead. No, she would, she would be familiar with being in the locket. But she's still disoriented because she hasn't talked to anyone since her daughter died. But that's not possible. You're my daughter. She recognizes Yasena's soul, which is to say not Yasena. So we're gonna my dramatis persona. The statue that is Yasena is 88 years old. Cassandra is the mother of Yasena's sculptor. Yep. And then Andromeda is Yasena's sculptor. So So last session, Orsino was informed that his name is in fact Adonis, and that he lost his memories and became a new identity, blah, blah, blah. And then this session, right at the beginning, we're going to say, hey, Yasena, your name is not Yasena, your name is Andromeda. You're someone else, and you've completely lost all of your memories. Cool. She whispered that they are to resurrect the Dragon Lords of old. They must first exact vengeance upon Sidon. She explains that she was in love with Sidon, but his sister wife corrupted, convinced him, Cassandra, was in love with Sidon, but his sister wife convinced him that Cassandra. You know what, I'm going to do this in first person because this is going to make pronouns so much easier. I was in love with Sidon, but his sister wife convinced him that I was corrupting him. He murdered me, but not before I bore you and hid you away. Yeah. So Yasena now has a locket with her mom in it. Neat. Yasena is Versi's half-sister. Jeez. This whole everything is fucked. Which, if Orsino and Versi, sister wife versus mom grandma, yeah, pretty much. I love that, I love that Lutheria is constantly referred to as Sidon's sister wife, which is interesting because Sidon is never referred to as Lutheria's brother husband. Sister wife just rolls off the tongue better. And then the next thing that the gifted one gets is before they sail in the Ultros. Speaking of which, so during the long rest, we're going to run the event Madness of Lutheria. That one's super easy. Page 22 to 23. So right here. So it's just some read aloud text, and I get to do my Lutheria voice. Poor little mortals. Pro tip, I am not good at ASMR. The woman's voice is soft and concerned, so worried about everything. Worried about honoring the gods. Worried about offending them. Worried about war. Worried about the future. What can we do to make you worry less? Yeah, I like doing creepy lady voices. I also have this I just know that if and when they meet Lutheria in person, the entire time I'm role playing her, I'm just gonna do just very wide-eyed. Eyes are gonna dry out very, very quickly doing that, but it's gonna be fun. I just feel like she's got this like tinge of madness to her. Oh look, Madness of Lutheria. But yeah, she's just I'm probably gonna end up channeling Bloody Mary for her a little bit, maybe. Call back to Andy's stream. He played through Wolf Among Us, which is really cool. You guys should go check that out. Twitch.tv/Andy the Mathematician. Hey, look, he's in chat. You can just click his name. So I have a big decision to make. So this says right here, it says once the heroes have completed the great labors, King Acastus summons them to Mytros and gives them a map to the Ultros. So this says once they've completed the Great Labors. So it's like, oh, okay, they've only done 2 out of the 3, so I don't have to do that yet. But then if we go to chapter 3, Summoned by the King, which is, you know, the event, it says, when should I start this chapter? It introduces major characters, includes critical story developments. Run this part of the adventure after the heroes have completed 2 or 3 of their Great Labors. So, I have a big decision. Do I want to run this right now? So they are, so if we go to the world map, they are very close to Mytros right now. And I don't know. So, all right. Is there Fog of War on here? Why is there Fog of War? Wait, there isn't. What the hell? There's dynamic lighting. They turned dynamic light. Oh my. Oh, you know what? I think that's my fault. You love contradictions, but only when you can use it in a proof. Yeah, right? So they are currently at the Necropolis Telamok, which is right around here. Mytros is right around here. So kind of hilariously stupid easy for them to just like make their way down through the old woods into Mytros. Alternatively, I can wait until after they've completed their 3rd labor at the Great Falls of Archelon, which are up here. And I'm actually going to pull up the chapter 1. There should be a map of the... Here we go. So yeah, the Great Falls of Archelon are up here. I'd probably place them like right now in the river. And then the Necropolis at Telamok is basically right here where it says Mythril Mountains. And the reason I pull it up in the book is because for whatever reason the Roll20 map is wrong. Oh my god, I did it dumb. Let's turn dynamic lighting off. So for whatever reason I did a dumb, or for whatever reason Roll20 did a dumb, and they put the Necropolis of Telamok up here, and then they just don't have the Great Falls at Archelon. So not really sure what happened there, but hey, Andy and Jay Miller contributing to the Descent into Avernus campaign. If you guys don't know what that is, check out the channel points button at the bottom. You can see our goal. We're 16% of the way there. We got 111,812 channel points raised out of our 666,666. Yeah. Hey, it's inspiration for me for Saturday. So let's put that on the thing before I forget about it. Because I will forget about that. Edit. And now we got 3 cheerspirations. Thanks, Andy. Incidentally, I'm pretty sure you guys can contribute channel points literally every single day and not just stream days. If you guys wanted to just come back on like a Tuesday and throw some channel points at the goal. You checked? You can't? Really? Oh man. I have to be streaming. Good to know. Good to know. Because I just kind of assumed that was possible. So yeah, I have a big decision to make as to like whether or not I want to run Summoned by the King at this very moment. I kind of wanna, but on the other hand, it's what am I looking for? I'm looking for that one. There we go. It's kind of a lot to prep right now. So I did kind of panic prep it literally last Saturday morning because I was like, oh crap, well what if they get like really far past the Necropolis, because that was literally all I prepped was the Necropolis. So I was like, okay, well what happens if they get really far? I need something. So I prepped Summoned by the King off stream, so I kind of understand what's going on here. The King summons you. There's this big fucking storm going on over Mytros. The storm throws lightning at 1 or 2 of the heroes as they're entering the city. And then you go into the throne room, you meet King Acastus, you meet Valus, you meet his advisors, basically, Gaius, Chondrus, and his consort Bella. Yeah, he just has his consort in a throne room, you know, just alongside his wife, because that's cool. Time to get an aquarium and stream it 24/7. I mean, that would let people get lots of channel points. That'd be kind of funny. And I'm sure there are streams that do that. I'm sure that exists. So yeah, like you go to this throne room, and then it says 4 possible solutions, and then it gives 5 options. Editing is hard. But yeah, basically, can you cast Control Weather? No? Okay. Well, fuck you. So King of Cassis wants you to stop the storm with magic, Control Weather. Gaius wants you to dismantle the Temple of the Five. Conjurus wants you to order 70 children of the city to take the black robes and dedicate themselves to the cult of Letheria. Bella the concubine, not even consort. Concubine says, you know, just why don't we just sacrifice some shit? And then Cassis explains we would need a hecatomb, a sacrifice of 100 oxen. And the royal coffers cannot afford such an expense. So heroes, you wanna pay that? You wanna do that? You maybe wanna do that? And then Queen Valis is like, you know, we're gods. I can just summon my dad and my brother, and like we can fix this. But if so, they get 1 level of permanent exhaustion. Woof. Yeah. Those are the options. And then the storms vanish. And then, did the party get any money from the Necropolis? No, they did not. There are tombs with money in it, I believe. But I don't think... Yeah, permanent. Yeah, all the gods get a permanent level of exhaustion. It's crazy. Yeah, so Telamok, Mytros breastplate and shield are worth 500 gold each. Adonis, they did get the short sword of speed, not quickness. Oh, that reminds me, I need to homebrew that, because short sword of speed doesn't exist. Collections, my homebrew creations. Let's make this window bigger. There we go. Create a magic item. There's treasure listed in the Tomb of Xander. Did I miss it? So they looted breastplates from the Chamber of the Supplicants. Tomb of Xander, treasure. Other than Xander's famed equipment, there's no other treasure in the room. Shield of Vulcan can be looted from Graxus' corpse. X21? Graxus is like... Oh! Okay. I missed that. Yeah, I completely missed that. So I will have to make a note to award them that. Because that's definitely something they would have found. Thank you. Treasure on the bodies in the trap room. Yeah. Look at you. Thanks. Wow. Okay. So yeah, I'll make sure to give that out. It's definitely not a ridiculous amount of money, but it's definitely a useful amount of money. But I do want to just real quick. Scimitar speed, create. Bodies are now between the trap and the wall. Yeah, but the wall did retract, so short sword, 1 word. Short sword, 1 word? Yes, it is. Okay. Short sword of speed. Base weapon. Short sword. Done. Save changes. We pulled them into the hallway before anyone entered the room. Yeah, but then he threw them back in, I think. Hoping to trigger the trap. So I don't know. But yeah, so that's done. Short sword of speed made. Save changes. And then let's add that to Orsino's sheet. Odyssey view. Orsino. They should have jingled a little bit. Yeah, they absolutely should have jingled a little bit. And they would have. Short sword of quickness. What did he... Where did he... You know what? I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to let him have the short... Whatever. I don't know if he, like, homebrewed that during the session or what, but... Sure. Sure, have fun. So what do you guys think? So, do I just let them head back to Astoria and then head to the Great Falls of Archelon to go to the Mithril Mines, or do I have a Castus summon them and then like very so it does like explicitly say like they've been ordered not to return without the heroes. However, he won't attack even if provoked. If the heroes refuse to come with him, he'll appeal to the party's sense of honor and duty. He also confesses that Acastus is not a forgiving king. If the knights return empty-handed, he will be punished. So, like, I could maybe, like, soften that up a little bit so that it's not quite so, no, we need you right now. And then, essentially, I can just, if they do decide to say no, I can just decide, you know, that they go along with one of these plans that don't involve the players. In fact, none of these plans actually involve the players. Like, none of the players need to do anything for any of these except the convincing Pythor, Kyra, and Vulcan. Like, that's the only one that actually requires the play. Give them the option to go now or go after the mines. So the thing is, the storm is already over Mytros. If the players take the time to go to a... So the guy summoning them won't say... Oh no, he explains that the Lord of Storms has waylaid the city with a devastating hurricane. He expects the heroes to come to the city's aid at once. They might hear that and go, yep, we have to go. So that's like, I don't want the party to feel like they're being railroaded. I want them to feel like they have the option. I want them to feel like they're masters of their own destiny. And I feel like if I say, there's a hurricane above Mytros, fix it, their response will either be, what the hell do you want me to do about that? Or, yes, we have to go right now. Let's fix it. I don't know what we can do about it, but we'll figure it out when we get there. I don't think there's going to be a, well, that sounds important, but we have our own fate. And the prophecy didn't say anything about this. I don't think that that's going to happen. But, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. So, roll to see if they even encounter the guards. So I did want to... do a random encounter, because I like planning my random encounters. I was kind of imagining that I would do a random encounter and then maybe hold off one more labor. I mean, there's only the one more labor, and I don't want it to feel... So that's the other thing. So on the one end, I don't want it to feel like I'm railroading them. But on the other side, on the other end of the spectrum, if I wait until they do one more labor, you know, they're done the 3 labors, and then it's like, well, now what do we do? Hey, look, there's some dudes conveniently here to tell you what to do. And then that just feels a little silly. And that's why I like the timing now. But I want to make it a little softer than, you know, hey, there's a hurricane, please help. There's a hurricane, please help is just like, fuck. But I think they have to, not guards saying you have to help us. What if they're informed as they arrive? A storm is brewing. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. So it's not there's a full-on hurricane. There's a storm on the horizon that, you know, we're expecting to hit Mytros soon. Sidon has sent a storm and we need your help. And then even if they just beeline it, by the time they get to Mytros, the storm is full strength. I actually like that a lot. So as the players are leaving the Necropolis, miss one, maybe have it be a rumor that there is a storm over Mytros. So I think that's actually a rumor in Astoria, believe it or not. I think that might have actually been one of the rumors. Yeah, massive hurricanes brewing off the coast of Mytros. Could be weeks before it's safe to travel to the city. The roads nearby are closed. And I think I even gave that rumor to them. I think that was a... Is automod beaming? I don't see... Like, I have mod view open. I don't see any... I don't see anything getting caught by automod. So I think, yeah. So, 1, random encounter on the way out of the mountains. 2, summoned by the king, storm still brewing. 3. So by the time the Dragon Lords, as they call themselves, would have found the players, you know, the storm is essentially already full swing, but they don't know that because they left the city a while ago. But they can just like point over at the sky. It's like, yeah, like shit's a problem. And then 3, random encounter on the way to Astoria, Mytros. So yeah, I think that's kind of how I want to do it. So soften it. Don't say there's a hurricane. Just say like, yeah, like there's a hurricane brewing. And we would really appreciate your assistance in this matter, since you're the chosen ones and you're supposed to be our saviors from the Titans, right? Please help. So yeah, I like that. So I got to figure out what these 2 random encounters I want. So I know that this. I think I know what the second one is going to be. But let's see. Whoops. Oh god. Oh, okay. Appendix F, encounters, random land encounters. Harpies. I don't want to. No, I don't want to do the harpies again. To cross an area of dangerous terrain, then we'll use luring song to gain an edge before attack. I don't want to do that again. So there's special land encounters, and I wanted to run either Zephyrus or Uria, one of the 4 winds. So the 4 winds are this group of Fey bards who broke into the Temple of the Five and stole Kyra's divine instruments, including the Zephyr lute, the Euros lyre, and then I don't remember the other 2 are, but there's is it a sea encounter? There's another special encounter, if I recall correct. Maybe not. I think there's a scripted encounter with a 3rd of the 4 winds, but then the North Wind is Big Beast. Cute. But it's summer, autumn, winter, and spring. But yeah. Claims to be the guardian of the room, which was once a shrine to Helios, the sun god. So I remember seeing on the Odyssey of the Dragon subreddit a map for one of these encounters. Hey look, Zephyrus encounter map. Bam! So I think I'm going to run this one then. So that'll be encounter number 3. So we're going to grab this map, save, Odyssey maps. Oh look, I already saved it. I did a smart. I have a message. I'm not going to check that right now. I'm on stream right now. And then this is the worst part about Roll20. I get to drag this map all the way over very slowly. Very slowly. There we go. Sure. Zephyrus. We're going to go in. We are going to upload the image. Odyssey maps. Zephyrus. we're going to turn off dynamic lighting, turn off fog of war, turn off all of the things, and then we're going to make it 15 by 15 because that's how big the image is. So pain in the ass, they should make it able to move with the arrow. Yeah, they should do a lot of things that they don't. So let's zoom out, switch to map layer, jam that guy in there, advanced, set dimensions, 1050 by 1050, set, and slap it in the corner. Bam, we got a map. We got a stew going. All right, so we got a Zephyrus map. So I just need a Satyr Minstrel, which should be servant numpy. Hey, look at that, Satyr Minstrel. Not visible. Nope, that's a handout. That is a handout. I want the token. There we go. Alrighty. Oh look, he just looks like the Satyr dude. Cool. Alright, so we've got Zephyrus, so let's just slap a name on him. Oh, he's in the wrong layer. Put him on the token layer. Rename him from Satyr Minstrel to Zephyrus. So he has a Zephyr loot. Permanently charmed the shambling mound that is dancing to his music. So let's grab a shambling mound. SRD sheets, shamble mound, thanks, I hate it. So we're going to go to 5e tools, and we're going to get a better shambling mound token. Actually, do I have a shambling mound token? No, it's in Curse's Trod, right? Shambling mound. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. Save image as Odyssey. Rename from WebP to ping. Wonder why it would be there. Shambling mound. Odyssey, shambling mound. We're gonna upload this guy. It is up and loaded. All right, and here's the cool thing. So I make this guy the right size. I go in here. Oops, not in there. Shift double click to get to the character sheet. Maybe? Edit. There we go. Default token remove. Yes, delete. And then, god damn it. Select the actual shambling mound token. Use selected token. Save changes. And actually, let's edit the avatar too, by uploading the same image again, because Roll20 is stupid. You can always use the transmortifier to move things from one game to another. That sounds like a lot of work. The fact that they have a name for the tool sounds like it's a pain in the ass. So this represents shambling mound, which I was hoping would automatically do some things that it didn't. So now if I drag this guy in, he still does not have... That's frustrating. Yeah, I was really hoping he'd have like the hit points and everything that showed up, but I guess I ruined that. Also, they can see, sure, character sheet, AC 15, cool. Oh, current 15. There we go. Seriously click and drag? That's cool. That's neat. I'll look into that. Thanks for the tip. I don't like learning things on stream though. So we've got Zephyrus set up with shambling mound, so you feel. On the way to Mytros, Astoria, run Zephyrus, the Summer Wind, page 437. And then we just got to figure out... Okay, so I have to actually prep this, right? So you feel a warm summery breeze. It guides you into a forest clearing which is carpeted by wildflowers. It's just assuming that the players are going to follow it. There are ancient marble collapsed ruins here, which are apparently guarded by an animated mound of thorny vines and laurel leaves. The vine creature sways back and forth as if dancing, while sitting upon one of the fallen pillars is a satyr playing a gentle tune upon a lute. So he's sitting on a fallen pillar, so he's going to be right here. And then this guy is essentially just like, yeah, he's like, yeah, put him right in the middle. Cool. Playing a zephyr lute permanently charms the shambling man and is dancing to his music. Neither he nor the shambling man will attack unless they're provoked, but they will not permit the heroes to explore the ruins. The satyr has a wicked sense of humor and not above passing comment on the heroes' their apparent prowess in all fields of endeavor. Their clothes, their equipment, their haircuts, their weaponry. That's a very tiny sword. And anything else he finds funny. Zephyrus claims to be the guardian of the ruin, which was once a shrine to Helios, the sun god. Helios has been largely forgotten by the mortals in Thylia, but he is still revered by the giants and the fae folks, like Alaris. Zephyrus will ask the heroes if they'd like to hear a song about the god. If the heroes agree, he will then lull them to sleep with a gentle, tragic melody about a mortal who stole the sun god's chariot and flew too close to the sun. When the heroes awaken, they have been restrained by entangling vines that require a DC 15 strength save to escape. There's no save against being lulled to sleep. It's awesome. Satyr will apologize, but he cannot allow the location of the shrine to be discovered. He will then order the shambling mound to smash the heroes into very small bits. Hidden under the ruins is a golden statue of the sun god, a beautiful man with long hair, worth 1,000 gold pieces. There is also a sealed clay tube. It is a scroll case that must be shattered to open it. Inside are 3 fireball scrolls. Awesome. Alright, so that's neat. So let's look up the Zephyr lute, because I'm guessing that's an instrument of the bards. Great. It's not. Players love it when they don't get a save. Yeah. So I'm wondering if the lute. Here we go. Instruments of the Muse. They were crafted by the forge god Vulcan for his daughter Kyra. Each instrument is simple but elegant, designed so as not to attract unwanted attention, because the goddess of music loves to travel in disguise as a common bard. However, when played, the instruments produce rapturous melodies owing to the fact that they are crafted from the hair of nymphs. Spells common to all the instruments, as well as spells that are specific to each instrument. You can use an action to play the instrument and cast one of its spells. Once the instrument has been used to cast a spell, it can be used to cast that spell again until the next dawn. Use your spellcasting ability and spell save DC when you use the instrument to cast a spell as a source or as a focus. Your spell save DC is increased by 2. So, jump, invisibility, levitate, hold person, conjure elemental. None of those lull you to sleep. None of those would indicate why he was able to put you to sleep at all, let alone without a save. The sleep spell certainly would not be enough to do that. Is there a good way to run this? I don't even know if there is a good way to run this. Like I'm pretty sure the point of this is to... What about elf? Yeah, what about elves? Perception versus the vines. That's actually a good idea. Well, no. So the problem with that is that if any of them notice the vines, they'll all go, "Hey, vines, move!" And then no one gets caught by the vines. So I kind of want something where, unless they literally notice them, like as they're wrapping around them, like the vines are just like very. It's hard. It's rough. It's rough. It's rough. How do you run this well? So I would say instead of you fall asleep, it would be a charm, and then people who are charmed automatically fail a saving throw versus entangle. Is it silly? Instead of you fall asleep. So they have no memory of the time they were charmed. So that really only okay. So here's how I'm expecting this to happen. So you go into this and you're like, oh, okay, well, if everyone fails the save, then I can just say like none of you remember anything. We're just gonna fast forward, blah blah blah. But what is inevitably going to happen is at least one person will make the save. And then probably at least one person will fail the save. And then it's like, you notice that guy, he's just like, oh, okay. And then it's weird. Like, it's like, well, okay, what? So basically the way I'm expecting this to happen is he starts playing the song, and I go into detail about the song, and then if they don't, and I can describe it as this very enchanting melody. It's kind of got you swaying back and forth. Like it's a very pleasant song. He's singing about Helios. Alaris will be like, this is great. Can choose to fail. So I want to say you may choose to fail this willingly, which Alaris very well may choose to do, just because it's a song about Helios. Helios very well may choose to do so because it's a song about Helios. Satyr Minstrel stat block has a Fey music ability. Is that where it's coming from? Use an action to play music. Any creature within 60 feet, DC 15 Wiz saving throw, or be affected by one of the following effects. Charmed for a minute, falls asleep for a minute. Jay Miller, you the man. There we go. So, DC 15 Wiz save versus sleep. Following along in the book for the win. Yeah. Stupid useful. That is, yeah. So he's going to play the song. DC 15 Wiz save. Would it be DC 17 because of the magic loot? I'm going to say it is. Instead of everyone falls asleep, you get a friggin' save. It's a very nice song. He's singing about Helios. And it's a very charming song. I'll lay on pretty thick, like it's probably a charm effect, and then immediately like, oh, you're all asleep, and then essentially roll initiative. Yeah, 15 seems low. He's only CR3, and then as soon as they go, oh, they're asleep, we're gonna go fucking murder people. Then we roll initiative, and on his first turn, he casts Entangle. And then, since they're unconscious because of sleep, they automatically fail strength saving throws. And then they become, they become entangled. Yep, automatically fail strength and dex saves. So, that's the way we're doing this. He starts the fight with Entangle if anyone is asleep. On anyone asleep. That makes way more sense. Way more sense. If everyone fails and falls asleep. They wake up entangled. If not, everyone fails. He starts the fight with Entangle and anyone asleep. Alright. I don't even know if he has Entangle. Does he have it in his stat block? No, he doesn't actually have any spells in his stat block. And so there isn't a bookmark for every single item. And also, Instruments of the Muse are, for whatever reason, in M. But like he doesn't actually have the ability to cast Entangle anywhere. But I'm just gonna let him do it anyway. So yeah, that's that encounter. That's me fixing their broken encounter. So now we need a random encounter on the way out of the mountains. So I want this one to just be something that drains their resources, something very simple. So let's so it's gonna be mountains. So let's just roll a 1d100 and see what we get. 1d100, 19. Cyclops, cool. Let's see. You notice rumblings in the ground beneath your feet just seconds before a gigantic one-eyed woman bursts from the foliage nearby. The Cyclops roars in laughter, shaking her great club at you. She then gleefully heads your way with a malevolent gleam in her eye. She's easy to trick, and the heroes can try to convince her that they are agents of the gods or gods themselves in disguise. Persuasion check will convince her to leave the party alone. If she easily smashes the heroes, knocks down half their number, she'll feel sorry for them. Such weaklings are not worth sacrificing, and she will spare them if they beg for their little lives. Okay. Okay. I can just run that as is. On the way out of the mountains, run the Cyclops random encounter, page 435. So the one thing that I do want to do, I do want to look up the stat block for Cyclops, because I think that this will be a hilariously underwhelming encounter. CR6. 2 attacks, 19 damage a hit, so not very likely to knock someone down each round. Yeah, I think we need 2 of them. But with 2 of them. And I will be right back. And we're back. Okay, so I do think that we need 2 Cyclopses in order for it to be a reasonable encounter. I would like a mountain pass battle map. That doesn't look like a mountain pass. Does that look like a mountain pass to you? It doesn't look like a mountain pass to me. Mountain ambush. No. No. Wow, that's tiny. It's 6 by 6. Holy crap. I don't hate that. That one I don't like. Snow or no snow? Definitely snow. Yeah, now that I think about it, definitely snow. Maybe that one. My only concern is this says summit. Like, meh. I mean, don't know what that's supposed to be. Meh. Let's add snowy. Snowy map, pass battle map. I mean, this isn't the worst. It's like right as they're leaving the snowy area. Yeah, we'll use it. This map is tiny. Let's search Google, see if we can find a bigger one. Large. Sent you one you used. Okay. Let's take a look. Whoa. That's angular as hell. Oh, that is big. How big is that? 600. Oof. That's tiny. It's a little more claustrophobic than I was hoping. It's very pretty though. Ooh, there we go. Here's a nice big one. Very cool. Cool, cool, cool. Crap. Open image. This is... There we go. Okay, save. Cool. Odyssey maps. Snowy pass. .jpg. Cool. I'll have to figure out how big I want it. And I get to do this again. So this is cool. Snowy map. No, just snowy pass. So let's go here. Odyssey maps. Upload. Snowy pass. Let's edit this map to not have fog of war or dynamic lighting. Make sure everything's disabled. Cool. And then let's see how big my bitrate's gonna tank for a little while. I'm uploading 3 megs worth of shit. So it's 3220 by 2240. Is that a multiple of 70? I think that might be too big, but we'll see. Width 46, height 32. Okay. It is still uploading. My bitrate is tanking. That's cool. We're just waiting. Upload complete, cool. So close you, map layer, slap a snowy pass, advanced, set dimensions, and it is 3220 by 2240. Set. Make sure it's in the corner. Zoom out. And we got a mountain pass. Cool. I do need to turn the grid up a little bit, the grid opacity, because it's kind of hard to see. Maybe make it a little bit brighter so that it's more visible over here. I'm not super worried about it showing up on the snow. So I'm guessing, I'm imagining having the play. Okay, so describe a staircase they already used as being destroyed. A stairway. 2 8-foot sections have collapsed and slid down the hillside. Cyclopes are hiding in the bushes at the bottom of the stairway. Roll stealth compared to passive. Cyclopes pop out with rocks when players approach. Yeah, they're big bushes. It's fine. I've seen bushes bigger than that. Don't worry about it. But yeah, like that's about 8 feet. That's about 8 feet. Cyclopes pop out with rocks when players approach. Cyclops has a rock attack, right? Yeah, they do. Cool beans. And then, so Cyclops which is a... Oh, cool. They have their own art for Cyclops. Thank fuck. They're huge? Damn, they are huge. Okay. So I want to move these to the GM layer. And then the best part is that they have poor depth perceptions. They have disadvantage in attack rolls against a target more than 30 feet away. But their only ranged attack has a short range of 30 feet, so they get disadvantage in attack rolls against targets more than 30 feet away anyway. So, what? So yeah, so we'll start throwing some rocks as the players are dealing with that. It's called a 30-foot drop to where the Cyclopes are 2d6 fall damage because slowed. 30-foot slide to where the Cyclopes are. DC 17 acrobatics versus 2d6 bludgeoning damage. Cool. So essentially the way that I'm going to approach this is that I'm just going to describe that the stairway that they used before has been, it's essentially like fallen, like it just collapsed and slid down the hillside about 30 feet. And you know, how do you guys want to get across it? And as they're, I don't think Cyclopes are very good at hiding. Nope, they have +0. And I actually don't know what their passives are. So let's find out. Collections, my campaigns, Odyssey. Let's take a look at their passives. I'm gonna go with Alaris and Helios and Orsino because those are the charisma people. Oh, and oh my god, wisdom rather. We have a lot of wisdom in this party. So Alaris has passive 17. Helios has passive 14. Orsino's got passive 15. Scorpius has passive 13. Okay, so Alaris is probably very much likely going to notice them. So essentially the way that I'm going to run this is that they pop out as soon as they're noticed. Or once the party is like awkwardly split across the stairs, like let's say Alaris is hanging back and can't see over the edge yet. So I'll just essentially ask them how they want to deal with it, and I won't put them on this map because as soon as I put this on the map, only 17 get on. Well, she doesn't have observant, so. But yeah, so I'm not gonna put them on this map in Roll20 because as soon as I do that, they're gonna be like, okay, well. Let's figure out the best. Let's very quietly put ourselves in a very good location for combat, so that we can make sure that we don't get waylaid horribly. I'm gonna look around, blah blah blah. Like as soon as I put them on Roll20, they're gonna know that combat is probably gonna happen. So I'm not going to put them on Roll20. I'm not gonna put them on this map until combat essentially starts. And I'm not even going to start combat. I don't even need to put these in the GM layer, I don't think, because I'm basically... I'm basically going to move them here after the Cyclopses have already popped out, and like we're going to start fighting. So really all I got to do is let's go to the landing page, grab some player tokens. Oh, wrong layer. Grab some player tokens, copy. Players assume map will combat, yeah. Now, if we were on like a regular table, like if we were playing in person and I just like drew like the stair setup, if I just like drew the stair setup, I could sell it as this is what I'm describing. Like it's just stairs and then an 8-foot gap and then 5 feet of stairs and then an 8-foot gap and then more stairs. If I just used a table as a visual aid, then you know, I could sell it as not necessarily combat and then just fill in more details once combat started. but since it's on roll 20, map means combat. So I'm not going to move them onto the map until combat actually starts. So yeah, these are my plans as they're leaving the Necropolis on the way out of the mountains. Run the Cyclops random encounter, but with 2 of them. They are still going to, you know, say they're going to make an excellent sacrifice to Sidon. So they're going to throw rocks at them. And I actually want to give them a bite attack that does like a disgusting amount of damage. But like replace their great club with like a bludgeoning damage grab, and then grapples, and then a bite attack. I don't know. I'll probably just stick to great club. I just like the idea of Cyclops is eating people. So yeah, that's that. And then after that, once they get to the foot of the mountain, they'll see the dragons flying towards them, as per summoned by the king. So I got a bunch of read aloud text. In the distant skies, you may got 3 winged forms approaching you. You realize they're young copper dragons. But we'll run that whole thing, soften it with the storm is still brewing, as far as they're aware. They've spent the last 2 days looking for the heroes. But you know, they don't need to reveal that they've spent 2 days looking for the heroes. They can just say, you know, we've been looking for you. There's a storm brewing that's threatening Mytros. Sidon has sent a hurricane. Or you know, I don't. So if they say Sidon has sent a hurricane, I actually really enjoy using his title, Lord of Storms, instead of just calling him Sidon. So, you know, if they say, you know, the Lord of Storms is preparing a hurricane, we would really appreciate it if you made haste. We can escort you to Mytros. You know, we've come on behalf of King Acastus to escort you to his palace. He wishes an audience with you. All of that. But just soften it so that they feel like they have the option to say no. You know, like, hey, we'd love to, but like we have the great labors. We have to do this. We're on a very strict time crunch. We don't know when the Oath of Peace is ending. Blah blah blah. Like they can make that decision. And then on their way to either Mytros or Astoria, we'll run Zephyrus, the Summer Wind, DC 15 Wiz save versus Sleep on the song if they agree to letting him play them a song about Helios. And then, you know, we already talked about how we're going to run that. So yeah, that's basically, so these 3 things are going to take up a good deal of the session, probably half of it, I would say. And then the other half of the session will essentially be either Mytros, they do the whole summoned by the king side quest, or they actually they say, no, we're going to go to Astoria. I don't know what they want to do in Astoria, but I'm prepared. You know, I know stuff. Oh, look, quest summoned by the king. Awesome. That's in Astoria. They need to stop using that phrase. You know, I already prepped the Mithril Forge. We talked about that. So traveling to the Forge. We've got the Band of Centaurs. So on the way from Astoria to Mithril Forge, I want to do another random encounter. Just so that it feels like real, like, you know, there's stuff going on. So let's look up encounters again. So let's roll a 1d100, and this one's going to be planes. So we got 83. Kentamane's Arms. So run encounter Kentamane's Arms, which is not so much an encounter as just description. A pair of enormous stone forearms reach out of the ground next to you, next to the path that you are following. The statues are completely still, frozen in a gesture that appears to be grasping at the sky. Although the stonework appears to be finely carved, there are no other signs of civilization or any man-made structures anywhere in the vicinity. I actually kind of like the idea that, like, they just, like, burst out of the ground and then just sit perfectly still. And then players are just assuming that they're gonna, like, get murdered. Kind of like that idea. I don't know. Let's roll something else and see what we get. 29 Centaur Scouts. The hero's attempt to escape the centaurs will allow him to flee. Drinking horn, bronze spear, in addition to a bow. Fire one more volley of arrows and close for a hand-to-hand fight. Jeez, from 500 feet away. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do Kentamane's arms. Run encounter, Kentamane's arms. Page 435. But the arms erupt from the ground and sit perfectly still. Yeah, so I'll have to like, I don't feel like rewriting this. I'll just do it on the fly. So just something like a pair of enormous stone forearms erupt out of the ground on either side of the path you're following. The statues reach for the sky, and then their hands close slowly into an agonized grasp, like they're reaching for the sun and can't quite get there. And then they sit perfectly still, frozen in a gesture of frustration. And then I don't really need any of this stuff, except, you know, I could say something like the stonework appears to be finely carved, but like I don't need to say there are no other signs of civilization or any man-made structures anywhere in the vicinity, because they're not going to think, oh, like, this is a carved thing. Like, it just fucking erupted from the ground. Like, that's crazy. Like, I don't need to pretend that these are just statues, because we're throwing that away. And the reason that I'm okay with the arms just popping out of the ground is because they've already seen perfectly inert arms of Kentamane. So yeah. So this is something that'll only run if they go to Mithril Forge. And, you know, between these 4 encounters, I don't think they're going to have a lot of time at Mithril Forge. But maybe they surprise me. Maybe they move really quick. It's very possible. And then, you know, we already talked about Mithril Forge on a previous episode. So on the way there, we've got the Band of Centaurs, which is why I didn't really like the centaurs that attack you, because these centaurs. On the subject of the Cyclops, to add to the grapple stuff, not sure if I want to use a blood-frayed giant. Let's take a look. I think that was that the one that got summoned in Avernus when they were fighting the demons? It was, yeah, this guy. Any creature the giant can see is dealt damage by a foe within 20 feet of the giant. Giant makes a chain attack against that foe. It's very similar. It's more punchy, and like it's got more attacks just because it's got the reaction attack. Actually, no, it doesn't really have more attacks. It's kind of weird because the Cyclops has more hit points and the same AC. But I think the Cyclops is actually better at damaging enemies, because like this guy, he doesn't get multi-attack and he only does 3d6, and his rock also only does 3d6, whereas this guy does 3d8 twice. He does 3d8 twice or 4d10 once. So the Blood-Frayed Giant's actually like a major downgrade from Cyclops, except for the fact that it can grapple restrain. So the reaction basically balances the fact that it doesn't have a multi-attack. But then it has the grapple restrain, which is very powerful because that gives advantage and disadvantage. Yeah, I wouldn't want to just like reflavor this guy just because so much of his flavor is baked into how his attack works. And like most of how his attack works is like, oh yeah, like he's got reach fucking 20 feet. If I just said, yeah, reach 5 feet, and then he gets a multi and it's just a grab attack, or even 10 feet. I think this guy might have 10. Yeah, this guy's got 10 feet. So if I just change this to 10 feet, and then it's a grab attack, you know, just grab with his hands, grapple restrain, and then get rid of the reaction. I don't hate that. So I actually might just steal this idea and just like run it as a Cyclops. So I don't think I'll be using this stat block per se, but if the players are having a really easy time of it, by the time that they get into melee, I might just consider just like swapping out the Great Club attack for a grab attack. Yeah, that's a good idea. So, and then I might even add a bite attack. So let's look up. So let's go to monsters. So we're gonna go to monsters. Game rules, monsters. Yeah, I really appreciate that. So let's go to monsters. We're gonna say size. I really hate the way D&D Beyond looks when it's like small. So we're gonna say size huge, and then I want crap. Is there no way to search for like the name of an attack that they have? Vulnerability, subtype, language, movement type, monster text, source category, source, immunity, resistance, layer, mythic, legendary, skill, save, senses. Man, I want to look for a monster that has a bite attack that is huge. Monsters. Null, Fang of Venus, medium. Not big enough, not big enough. I mean, let's just, let's do adult white. Whatever. It's like CR9, right? Oh, 13, okay. So they've got a bite attack. It's only 2d10, okay. That's not as good as I was hoping. I was just thinking, like, once, so I would essentially give it a multi-attack, and you can make 2 grab attacks that do 3d6 plus 6 bludgeoning damage, grapple, restrain, and then if they're still in his grasp, as his full action, so no multi-attack, then he can just bite them, and it would do, like, 6d10 damage or something like that. But looking at the dragon, it's like 2d10. So I don't know. 1,000 Teeth from Ghost of Saltmarsh. Is that a shark? Crocodile. Bite. Again, 2d10. Yeah. Huh. I guess bite attacks aren't that powerful. So I'll just ditch the bite idea. It's fine. His mouth is pretty tiny anyway. I don't know that he could actually fit someone like their whole everything in his mouth. Like, I think if anything, he's just biting their head off, at which point it's just like, oh! I mean, I could just kill someone. But yeah, so we'll stick to throwing rocks. So they're gonna start off by throwing rocks. Like that's a thing. And then they're only gonna switch to melee once the PCs engage them in melee. Which could be very quickly if they just decide to slide down the hill and take the damage. Like a Vorpal Decapitate on a critical. I mean, yeah, I could if I actually just straight up want to kill someone. So this actually happened in our Lost Laboratory Aqualish. So Vorpal effects are a thing that exist. You know, it's a thing. If you crit, you cut off their head. And the yeah, that's what I was getting at, Jordan. So I have nat 20s. So nat 20s are something that we do on our channel where, you know, viewers can donate bits or channel points to give out nat 20s, and they can give them to the DM. And because those exist, I don't really feel that great about using a nat 20 on a Vorpal attack. The one time that I did do it, did I mention the giant crocodile's bite attack? And you pointed out 1,000 Teeth, which is a large crocodile. I didn't look at specifically giant crocodile. It is huge, and it's 3d10 piercing. So 3d10 piercing with grapple restraint. So unless it's Alice. So yeah, so the reason, I was getting there too. So the reason that I used it on Alice, I threw a nat 20 on a Vorpal attack at a player character, is because she drew the rogue card from the deck of several things, which made the Grand Master hate her. Just supernaturally hate her. So it felt only fitting that he would specifically go out of his way to kill the shit out of her. They completely royally fucked themselves by pulling cards from the deck of several things. And no, I'm not saying it wrong. It's actually called the deck of several things and not the deck of many things. It's an item in Lost Laboratory Aqualish, and it's very similar. So is it the rogue? Is it the rogue? NPC of the DM's choice becomes secretly hostile to you, and I chose the wait. Did I just choose the Grandmaster? No, okay, so, oh, okay. So I thought it was the rogue card, because that's the one that makes, that's the one that makes a random NPC hate you. But she drew the Flames card. The Grandmaster of the Monastery of the Distressed Body becomes your enemy. Yeah, yeah, so he wanted her dead, and I thought it was appropriate to just kill her. So generally I would say don't do that, but in that case I felt justified. And that was like a TPK situation. Like that was the end of that campaign. So yeah, that was that. So I think that's about it. I think that's about all I have for DM prep for today. We prepped 4 different random encounters, one of which is hilariously scripted, and then we do usually do the 68 variant. Okay. Yeah, I mean, these players are legendary. They have legendary actions. They can't be decapitated. Fun fact, Andy, rules is written, technically that 68 gets doubled on a crit. So it ends up being 12d8 for some fucking reason. I don't know why. But yeah, so we prepped a bunch of random encounters and one scripted encounter. I'm already prepared for if they do go to the Mithril Forge. I'm prepared if they go do Summoned by the King. The one thing that I'm not prepared for is if they decide to start exploring Mytros. But if they actually agree to join the guards, I can very much just say, you do not have an opportunity to explore Mytros until after you deal with this, and that'll buy me time, because I don't think that they'll get through 3 random encounters and this whole scenario with a ridiculous amount of time left over after. So yeah, I don't feel like I need to prep the entire city of Mytros, even though that is something that I would like to do. I don't want to spend, like 2 hours on stream just reading a whole city, because this is a whole city and there's a lot to do here. So let me know. Let me know in the comments below, or in Twitch chat if you're watching this on Twitch. Let me know on YouTube if you think it'd be interesting. If I just read through all of Mytros and just like on stream talked about, like, I don't know, in the dooley do. Yeah, just let me know. Do you think it'd be interesting for me to prep that on stream? If not, then I will just read it off stream before I go on to DM prep. So thank you everybody for being here. If you're watching us on YouTube, check out our Twitch channel. I do DM prep live on Thursdays starting at 6 p.m. I do Curse of Strahd and then Odyssey of the Dragon Lords. And then on Saturdays we play Odyssey of the Dragon Lords 4 p.m. EST. Sundays we play Curse of Strahd at 1 p.m. EST. And then we have other games that we're planning. We aren't ready to announce yet. Yeah, thanks for being here. We'll see you guys next time. If Bayless is indeed live, then yes, we will indeed raid Bayless. So 1 second, let me get a raid set up. We're gonna go to Mr. Bayless. We're gonna hit raid channel, and we're gonna raid Mr. Bayless. All right, we're gonna raid. So yeah, thank you guys for being here, and I will see you next time. And I just have to wait 10 seconds for the raid, and we're raiding. Bye.